With the announcement that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is now delayed indefinitely, I would like to stop and take the time to rank all 10 Spider-Man movies. Now, this is just the main Spider-Man movie, so we're not including Venom or Morbius, because who really wants to watch that video? So with that being said, please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list is certainly not the right list, it's just my list, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of all of the Spider-Man films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. My name is SW Nation. With all of that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off our list at number 10 for me has got to go to Spider-Man Far From Home, a Peter Parker road trip film disguised as a Spider-Man movie. Look, I love the incredible Mysterio visuals in the middle, and the jokes are hilarious. It's one of the funniest MCU films in my opinion, and I get all of that. The whole Spidey senses thing, I love that as a central point. I love all of that. But beyond that, beyond the comedy, beyond the high school aspects, the Edith plotline was very weird, and while fun, they sacrificed a Spider-Man movie for a high school road trip. Every time that I talk about this movie, I never call it Spider-Man Far From Home. I always call it Peter Parker and his friends on a high school field trip. Number 9 is The Amazing Spiderman II. I have so much fun with this movie, and it is the Spider-Man that I grew up with. It's not even that bad in my opinion. Look, yes, I can admit we have an abundance of plot lines that do not mix. Of course, we have Green Goblin, we have Rhino, we have Electro, villains that have nothing to do with each other at all besides setting up the Sinister Six. Again, we have the Goblin, we have Gwen Stacy's death, we have Spider-Man versus Electro, we have Spider-Man versus the Rhino, we have a Sinister Six setup, we have Black Cat thrown into the mix, and on top of all that, we still have to try to find some type of connective tissue to what's going on with Peter's parents. It's so many plot lines, and if history has done anything, it has shown us that these many plot lines do not work. But to me, this is one of the most faithful Spider-Man movies, with incredible acting and phenomenal CGI. It's just flawed in the story aspect, but everything else is faithfully Spider-Man to me. 8 is Spider-Man 3, another movie that's not as bad, and in fact, it is quite enjoyable. There is another abundance of plot lines here, Sandman and Venom, and also the Green Goblin again. It's like Amazing Spider-Man 2, 3 villains that have nothing to do with each other at all. We have the relationship problems of MJ and Peter, we have Sandman, and also the whole mystery behind Uncle Ben's death dealing with Sandman, and then we also have to throw in Venom into the mix. Gwen Stacy, Eddie Brock's Venom, all of these different plot lines that could work as their own films. Mashed together, not as much. But I do feel as though if we were able to cut out the Sandman stuff, the whole Venom arc leading into Harry would have worked phenomenally for me. Venom could lead into Peter's pride and ego, which also leads into Harry's downfall. I think all of that works. So 3 plot lines could have worked here, to be honest with you. It's not the masterclass that is 1 and 2, but it's definitely not bad. 7 is Amazing Spider-Man. Mark Webb brought something to Spidey by grounding him in an albeit darker tone and even lighting. There's a lot of scenes inside of this movie set at night. Peter Parker's parents are just unnecessary for me. Growing up, I had no questions about whatever happened to Peter Parker's parents, and I'm pretty sure you never had those questions either. So it just feels unnecessary just to pad the runtime, and it's so focused on trying to differentiate itself from the Sam Raimi film, so it does everything different. So everything feels different, but nothing ever seems fresh. The cast is great. The chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone is incredible. One of the best comic book movie romances in my opinion. The action is all great, the CGI is exceptional, the jokes are funny, and the swinging is phenomenal, but not the most rewatchable one. It's fine, it just struggles to find its identity. Coming in at number 6 is Spider-Man Homecoming, one of the most rewatchable MCU films for me. Marvel gave us a new take on the webhead by actually making him an eager high schooler wanting to join the Avengers. Look, we've seen Spider-Man in the high school, in Amazing Spider-Man, and also in the first Spider-Man film, but we never seen him actually be inside of the high school setting as much as he is inside of this film. And you get the idea that he is a high schooler. He's going to decathlons, he's going to field trips. All of that is just exuberating high school energy. And it's also very interesting how we see the world of the MCU through some high schooler eyes. I mean, they have high schoolers in gyms playing F, Marry, Kill with Thor and Spider-Man and Iron Man. So I think that stuff right there, that energy, is what I really loved about the first Homecoming film. They didn't lean into camp. They leaned into the fun aspect of what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. It's a refreshing coming-of-age story in the MCU. I absolutely love it. Kicking off our top 5 list for me has got to go to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a movie that truly feels like a comic book come to life. Spider-Verse is just a love letter to the character while also introducing the idea that everyone can wear the mask by making the story about Miles Morales. It's creative, it's entertaining, it's funny, and it was really kind of the first time we saw this multiverse story inside of comic book films, while never really feeling like a departure of what we know of the character. At number 4 is the original Spider-Man. I put this above Spider-Verse because it is the original, it is the OG, but also because I've seen Spider-Verse so many times, and yes, I've seen this movie so many times, but if somebody puts on the OG Spider-Man movie, I'm going to sit down and watch it rather than the Spider-Verse film. It is one of the grandfathers of the MCU, Blade, X-Men, and this. Here we have the first Spider Bite. J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man swinging through New York, and Uncle Ben's death. Literally, it is the perfect origin story, and it has one of the most influential impact on where we are today in comic book movies. I love this film even with all of its cheesy Raimi-isms. Speaking of films that I love, kicking off our top 3 list for me has got to go to Spider-Man No Way Home. Even though the setup and story is weak, once you get past the first act, this is everything I wanted from an MCU Spider-Man film post Homecoming. The stakes are huge. We have a battle in New York City on the Statue of Liberty. That's as Spider-Man as it could ever get. We have the great power comes great responsibility speech from Aunt May, even the help of the other spiders. All of it is exciting. All of it is what I wanted. With the incredible ending that this movie had, it solidified the idea that the entire Homecoming trilogy was Peter Parker's origin story to becoming Spider-Man. Our runner-up is Spider-Man 2. This is insane. I'm about as surprised as anyone that I would put Spider-Man 2 this low. I mean, look, I think Spider-Man 2 is everything that you want from a sequel. We've had our fun with the origin story, but Peter is still broke and in college. It works for giving us a story about choices and balance, and I love all of that. And it also serves as a nice, smooth transition from the first film. Actions that happen inside of the first film have consequences to our characters inside of this film, and it's all on display here. It just felt like Sam Raimi wanted to be in competition with himself just to see if he could one-up his previous film, in which he was able to do it flawlessly. The train sequence is exhilarating, Doc Ock is a cool villain, and the movie gets funny at times. Spider-Man 2 will always be one of the greatest comic book films of all time. But there is only one number 1. But coming in at number 1 for me is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Man, this movie is incredible. I have seen Into the Spider-Verse multiple times, and each time I watch it, I kind of like it a little bit less, to be honest. Man, I've only seen this movie once, and I'm still riding the high from it. It just pushes the boundaries of animation, creating a multiverse story with more sense than most out today, like Multiverse of Madness or even No Way Home or even The Flash. Definitely, it is the most engrossing film on this list. When I was watching it, I was just saying to myself, please don't stop, please don't stop. And when it actually ended, we had an additional 20 minutes of an epilogue teasing what happens in the third film. And with the whole announcement that the movie is delayed now, at the time of me recording this section of the video, the movie has been delayed indefinitely, which, I mean, who didn't think that was going to happen? I think we're going to be revisiting this film a lot more in the years leading up to Beyond the Spider-Verse. The soundtrack is epic by Metro Boomin. I've had it on repeat ever since I've seen the film. The film also manages to take the story of anyone can wear the mask and kind of flips it on its head to turn it about how you wear the mask is what matters. And I love that. It's mature, it's engrossing, it's not only the best Spider-Man movie, it's not only one of the best comic book films, it is one of the best movies, period. This is why Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list. It was just my list, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 10 Spider-Man films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favor. You can even include the Venom films and Morbius. I didn't decide to do that because who really wants to watch that type of video? But with all of that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.